I don't know you guys, so I'm meeting new people, which I like to do.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like, I'm not just not. I like the people I currently know, but
Sure, sure.
I see them
They're
enough.
all right.
Yeah, I mean,
But I'm reaching out. I'm just letting everybody know.
welcome everyone to DrunkCast Live.
Hey.
Episode 108, November 22nd, here in fabulous Austin, Texas. As you can probably hear from this recording, it's a sunny day. It's we got hit by something, some kind of nasty rainstorm thing that's going to sound really nice, I think.
It's God tears.
And then it's also a night, if you've been listening to this, as a Nash Hernandez night. So on one side we have rain, and the other side we'll have very loud jazz music. So it'd be pretty fucking cool, I think.
Do you know why God's crying?
Because God's crying because Hallie's leaving, I think, but.
And because of you.
And because thanks, buddy.
Something you did.
I'm Travis.
Something you did.
Dylan is out of town, so we have our fabulous Banjo has come to sit in and be my co-host.
I'm here.
Handsome as always, of course.
And bearded.
Yes.
Now. Sadly.
Sadly bearded. Well, you won that bet, so
Yeah.
you win.
I did win.
Tonight we have a very special guest. I forgot to tell you, Money says hi.
Money says hi.
Yeah, Eric Money Nagurney. He told me to tell you specifically that Money says hi. We have Patrick Sirois. Sirois. Oh, I knew I was going to fuck that up.
It's been getting fucked up since the dawn of time. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out. So this is the first time on the show. Like I mentioned before, it's going to be pretty chill. But there's 3 questions you have to ask immediately.
How many walkers have I killed?
And why?
Yeah.
The first question is, what are you drinking tonight?
Drinking Fireman's 4.
Fireman's 4. The second question is, what is your spirit animal?
Oh, my spirit animal is a Moroccan cab driver named Hakeem, who I knew in Connecticut.
Right.
Well, I have made a contract myself that whenever I say his name, I'll go one love, Hakeem. So yeah, that's my. I've answered that question before.
Great. Oh yeah, no, you feel like you had a chambered, like a ghost dog relationship.
Yeah.
The third question is it's something new that I've set up. I'm going to try to ask you, because you've been on podcasts before, maybe you've had interviews before.
Yeah.
I'm trying to ask you a question that no one's ever asked you.
Okay.
So this is sort of unique. What would you have in your man cave that would make it different than everyone else's man cave?
Oh shit. You know what? What would I have in my man cave that I don't? I think I would have a midget on staff with a tray of blow on his head.
On a staff or on staff?
Just on staff.
Okay, so like what is that called?
The help.
No, not the help.
Oh.
Like a retainer. You'd have
Sorry.
like a midget, and he would have a drug tray as a hat, and there would be a drug tray on his head, and I think that would be cool.
How would you call him over?
I'm actually a really nice guy. I'd feel really guilty. I'd just be like, hey man,
I think that's the only appropriate answer.
Yeah.
Really.
Hey, I don't mean to bother you. I mean, you're on the payroll.
Yeah. I would hang out with him in the meantime, and I'd take the tray off his head and hold it for him when he was ready to do drugs.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, that's super nice.
Sure, yeah, that's super nice.
I'd pretty much. I guess I would just have a
just
dwarf
midget
friend.
a midget buddy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But,
Yeah. Little person
when
buddy.
it got down to it, though, I'd be like, hey, okay, working relationship, real quick. I do need you to put the hat on.
Sure.
Like we're close, dude. I like hanging out with you. We got to understand. We still have a boss.
We have this thing. I'm still paying you. Yeah, you're still going to have to do what I'm asking you to,
There's a
which is
line.
wear this hat made of drugs.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's it.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
No, not at all.
Yeah, well, thank you. What I want to do, since we got those questions out of the way, I want to have a longer series of segments. The first segment, usually like 15 minutes or whatever, but I want to go ahead and take a first break, because it looks like you actually powered through that drink, and you probably might need another one. And I'm about close to one as well. So
cool.
First break.
Yep.
And we'll come back with a ton more.
Switching
Yeah,
it
I'm into
up.
Yeah? All right,
Yeah.
be right back.
Break. God damn.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody.
Hey,
Segment 2. Still hanging out with Banjo as my co-host, my beautiful co-host.
I'm still here.
And still hanging out with Patrick Sirois. Thank you so
Haven't
much
gone nowhere.
for waiting for that very simple break that no one else will actually
I
contemplate.
took a piss. It was cool. I was in need of the break.
Best piss ever.
yeah, that's,
So we found out during the break, those, of course, who were not here, that Banjo and Patrick actually do have some connection. Now, I knew that Banjo went to high school in Coppers Cove.
I did.
Or Copporis.
Copperas.
Copperus. Yeah.
Copperas. And I knew Patrick went to Cove as well, but I knew there was like a 6-year difference, so I didn't want to think too much about it. But it does turn out you guys know some connection.
Yeah.
A guy that you
I lived with in Germany.
Germany.
He lived across the hall from me.
Yeah.
In the barracks or whatever. Not the barracks, but the
Yeah.
housing. And we moved to Cove. And apparently he's a part of your family now. Or close enough.
I'm real close with his little sister is like a very, very good friend of mine, and subsequently his whole family has become a very good friends of mine.
Sure.
Like I just saw his parents in the clean Walmart a couple weeks ago, and they were inviting me to their Halloween party.
Jason and Richie, his older brother, right?
He does have an older brother.
Yeah.
He has. He's the oldest one. He has.
Maybe it's a different family then.
Whoa, we might be talking about different people.
It's not like Jason Rodriguez is the rarest of names in Texas.
So because he is his kid Jason Rodriguez. Because when you said 97, I know that was like his time that he was in Cove High.
Yeah.
So that just defaulted like, Jason, if I throw it out there. But
I do know a Jason Rodriguez.
He had two friends named Sam. Two guys named Sam. One of them was a real big dude. The other one was a real little guy. Big Sam and little Sam.
Yeah.
Great. I bet little Sam loved that destination. Yeah.
They ended up getting jobs. They're two Mexican dudes. Big Sam and little Sam, both big and little in size, and they got a job driving the van to MEPS for the military processing.
Okay.
And I was like, you guys should get your own fucking sitcom. Like this two big Mexican dude, little Mexican dude driving folks to the army. I was like, you need a reality show.
Sam's Club, we'll call it.
We'll call it Sam's Club. Please,
yeah, of course. So that's rad. And I do hope that thread does not get disintegrated. I hope it is the same.
No, I'm sure we'll be talking about
the
awesomeness of Cove sometime.
Of course, we'll have a whole episode on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll have you on. We'll have.
We can do it live from Cove.
Oh yeah, we'll go to the. Is there a bar there?
Ed's. There's a couple bars.
Dave's Ice House. I do comedy there. And they do comedy at Southern Nights now.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad that you've been in Southern Nights also.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not hating, but Southern Nights is a.
There's literally a bar named Southern Nights. It just seems very. We call it Nasty Nights. We're not because it's creative or anything. We're like, nope, that's what we're gonna call it.
Because it is literally a nasty place.
Yeah.
Great.
With nasty nights that occur in it.
So Cove, were you there? Okay, so number one, you came from Germany, Banjo. To Cove, there was a military base nearby, or there was something?
Yeah, there's Fort Hood.
Okay, so Fort Hood, that's the closest then. How far is Fort Hood from Cove?
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
The western edge actually is like touches the edge of Cove.
Okay. So.
To actually get into Fort Hood, it's about a 10-minute drive.
Did you, Patrick, move there with your family because of that? Or was that the reason you were there?
I was actually born on Fort Hood.
Yeah.
Then we went to, as most military families do, we moved around. We did El Paso, Germany. We did Germany, El Paso, Germany, and then back to Copper's Cove in '98.
Okay, right.
So, you had already graduated high school by the time I moved there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I moved to Copper's Cove in 93 or 94.
Okay. So right about the time you're going to high school.
Yeah, I started my sophomore year.
Did you know any of the Dickinson brothers, the principal's sons?
No.
Oh, okay.
I do know the principal, though.
Mr. Dickinson?
Yeah.
Big, tall, crazy black cowboy.
Big
awesome
black cowboy,
shit.
Yep. Drives that ambulance, that ancient ambulance.
The old mail truck. He would drive around neighborhoods hyping kids up for when school would start in the summer. He'd drive it around, get out. He's like 6'6" in a cowboy hat. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing?
Wonderful. Yeah.
Greatest guy.
That's too perfect.
Yeah.
that fits in a lot of my my dreams, my fantasies. I'll never be that tall, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
if you work hard, you can be that black. No, you can't. You can't be as black as Mr. Dickinson.
No.
Get out of here with that. Your bullshit.
So while you were in Cove, okay, I did see that you're a U.S. Army retired. That's what it said on your Facebook wall.
It says that I'm retired?
Yeah.
U.S. Army? No, I've never been in the military. Okay. My parents did 42 years combined. My dad did 22, my mom did 20.
Okay.
I hope it does. It says that?
Yeah.
I started Facebook in 2009 and haven't gone back and changed any of the information.
That might be why. I mean, maybe
that's a federal offense.
Yeah, it's false valor, bro.
I'm just
false valor.
There's a lot of that in the news actually recently. People getting sued or not sued, but fined for it.
Yeah, but you know what? If you go, I was in the Army. And you're not. That's not right.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, this guy was
you don't say I was a SEAL that killed Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
And you were never.
You weren't there
in anything.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, that's just shitty. It's a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
So, when did comedy become a thing for you?
Comedy is something I've always wanted to do my whole life. I as a kid, I found out real quick that I liked it.
Yeah.
And so I was always wanting to do things creative like that. I used to draw and do graffiti and stuff, and I liked having an output. And I started doing. I was in a band. Senior year of high school, I joined a metal band, and we played for like 4 or 5 years. It was awesome. It was like fun as shit.
What was it called?
One Fine Line.
Okay.
Yeah, we were a hardcore band actually. We were in a metal band, hardcore.
Okay.
And as 19-year-old me would have been like, oh, there's a difference, bro. Like, but fucking, I did that, and I was a singer, screamer, and so I'd be on stage, and I just kind of like being up there talking during the show. So I went to an open mic in Temple, Texas. And like when I went and did it, I'd always been talking about how I want to do it. So like as with most first time comics, like everybody came, like all my friends, like
great.
Like, yeah. So it was. I did that, and then I was just like, yep, this is what I want to do.
Was it the best? Was it the best show you've ever done?
It was. It wasn't bad. Like this sounds like a real shit thing to say, but I don't feel like I ever like bomb. Like even when I was like first trying it out, I kind of had an idea of what I want to do, but like. You go back and watch it though, and obviously it's not as good as you want it to be. Yeah. And you start to see these stupid little behaviors. If you watch any of my old sets and fast forward, it's just me ricocheting back and forth. I'm just pacing like a motherfucker, just like all over the stage,
and like
and like cussing way too much and shit. So yeah, you see that. Like, but like as far as like laughs, I mean, I got those, but. Definitely, like the first time I came to Austin, I did Velveeta Room. Yeah. Because the first night I did it, this guy Brick Andrews, that's a whole other story about this guy. But he was hosting the open mic in Temple and said, "Hey man, you should come to the open mic down in Austin." And I left with my girlfriend in her car, and I was like, "Yo, I've been doing it one night. I got invited down to the Velveeta Room." It was Thursday, was the open mic night. Like I had to call and sign up. There was no like special like. I was just
there was not a sign out for you.
Yeah. Pretty much in the industry now, babe. You know.
Right. What bank account should I use to pay for the? Yeah.
2 thumbs and a major comic.
So when did you come to Austin to do stand up?
I was like within the first couple of weeks of that. Yeah. Then I moved to the East Coast and I got really active out there in like the New England scene.
Sure.
I lived in the Hartford area for like 3 years. And that's when I started like.
Yeah, I saw one of your videos in New Haven.
Yeah. That's when I started taking trips out to Boston and New York and doing like Providence, Rhode Island, and Framingham, Mass, and like New Haven, Connecticut, and like all the little towns in between. And that was when I really started like hitting it. And then I was like. Okay, it's time to move back to Texas, and I was like, I'm taking this comedy shit seriously now, so Austin was the logical choice. I toyed with the idea of doing the New York or LA move, and like instantly was just like, nah, fuck that. I'll be next to my family. I'll be in Austin, Texas, which I've always loved and wanted to live that anyway. So that was about 3 years ago, and
cool.
I've been doing that.
When did you meet? You started to bring it up before. I wanted to talk about it on the show. When did you meet Money?
Money.
And what does that mean? Is also the follow-up question.
I met Money. It was back in 1999 at the Source Awards. I just met Eric through mics and stuff, and like that's one of the funniest dudes I've ever met. Like he just knows how to crack me up. Like some people just know how to hit that little button, and he just everything he says I laugh at. And we always, as with a lot of comics, like you meet each other, you only see each other in positive times, drinking times. Like, hey, we're out here doing shows, so it just becomes like it's all fun and games and laughter. We'd always joke about shit. And I forget how it came up, but it was. Eric Money Nagurney, and I was like, he said something, it has something to do with money, and he was like, well, I was like, they call you Eric Money Nagurney. He's like, they call me Eric Money Nagurney because of all the money I make for myself and others. And that line just like got legs, and so whenever I see him, it's like, what are you doing? He's like, you know what I'm doing? I'm getting money for myself and others. And that's like one time, like we had a party at the house.
What a kind-hearted guy,
yeah. What a kind-hearted, because not only does he get it for himself, he gets it for the people around him.
It's like a Robin Hood.
Yeah.
He steals the laughs from the rich. And,
gives the money
to the open mics.
But he still makes. And part of the curriculum for this joke is that we always point out every logical aspect of it. Be like, you get money for others, but I also get money for myself. Like you do, you get money for yourself and others. And it's just like a repeating of that phrase and mantra. I don't know. It's a dumbass joke, but Eric Money Nagurney. That's my boy. That dude's funny as fuck.
He was pretty rad. Yeah, he was really excited to hear that you're going to be on the show. As we were, of course.
Yeah. But it was that's a funny guy.
So like that's what I was curious about the New Haven thing, because I saw that and I saw like you being in Texas for some amount of time. So you actually, that's rare that you went up to the East Coast and decided to come back for your family. Do you know? Crap, I forgot his name. I'll bring it up later. So there was something else I noticed on your Facebook, and this might not be true anymore because you haven't changed it in a while. Are you dating someone right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Because that was there in a relationship. And so what I was curious about, like, actually, of all the guys that we've had on, the guy that I can't remember, which is
Is
irrelevant.
it Rob Gagnon?
No,
He's from Connecticut.
He moved to California. He was He was one of Austin's funniest people.
Was it Ramin Nazer?
It was Doug Mellard.
Oh, Doug Mellard. Yeah.
So
I know
he moved to
Doug.
California, and I know that he's had whatever successes there. I think he still has a girlfriend here. But my question for you, there's a gag for some stand-up comedians that they're not allowed to talk about their girlfriends on stage. Like, it depends on the relationship, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
there's certain things there's certain things I can talk about and can't talk about. My girl's cool. I do a whole bit about, she has 2 kids. Then I do a bit about dating a girl with kids.
Yeah. Okay, so the same girl. Okay.
Yeah. So and I talk about that, and she's cool with that. I can't even get into it but just like there was a joke I told, and then there was some circumstances that happened between us, and I can't tell that joke anymore. And it works out, and it actually works out because I definitely outgrew the joke. Like,
yeah,
I literally can't say anything about it. Like, we can do it offline, but anyways.
Sure.
But like that joke, I had been like falling flat. And I kind of would throw it in at the end when I had a closer.
Sure.
And it was like, and it kind of been falling flat, and I thought it was funny, and I was like stood behind it, and I literally killed a perfect set with it one night. I did Austin Java. I had a great set. Everything was going good. And I was like, I had a few more minutes. I had this row of like old ladies laughing, which I think if you can make older people laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know my mom, everything, like if she sees comics that are like newer comics, she's like, that's not funny.
Yeah.
So if I can make an older woman laugh, I always feel really good about myself.
Sure.
So I had them go into that.
It's a Will Smith school of comedy.
Yeah. And so I dropped that joke. Before I'd gone up, they had said that a guy's car had gotten hit in the parking lot. Like, well, when are they going to say it? And I was like, don't say it before my set. I'm not going to like straight off The Simpsons, like a small dog, not unlike Lassie, was ran over the parking lot. And then Homer's like, are you ready to laugh? Like, so I was like, I'm not gonna do that. So I was like, do it after mine. So I go up, I do a great set, I end with this joke, and it fucking destroys the energy, and it's dead silent.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, man. Well, hey, if you drive a blue Honda Civic and car just got hit in the parking lot, I'm Pat Sirois. Good night. Everybody laughed, and then like the host, Cass Barbadura, got up and was like,
that was
hey,
serious.
no, seriously though, if you drove a blue Honda Civic and this guy stood up, I was like, what the fuck? And like, walked out.
I got it.
Yeah. But yeah, I can. There's things I can talk about up there, and then there's things that I can't. But generally, the jokes I do, I don't really do anything where I'm just like, my girlfriend, what a bitch, right? Like,
right, sure.
I talk about her, like I mentioned the fact that she has kids and things like that. But it's I feel the tone of that is slightly complimentary. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that there's an issue with that.
Sure.
But you gotta tiptoe. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's the extended conversation too. Is like so. Right now, like we got Bill Cosby. This is the only point of Bill Cosby I want to talk about, really, because it is kind of a bummer to talk about in general. It's easy for some people to not believe it, some people to believe it, and I don't really want to know people that may not believe it because it's Bill Cosby or whatever reason. But
that's just to get it clear, I definitely think he did.
Well, I mean, I know it's a bummer, but like,
it sucks. Yeah,
it's like 50 girls now. I mean, like, you have statistics. If 10 of them are lying, there's still 40 of them. But the question is, tiptoeing. How soon can you make a joke about Bill Cosby on stage?
Well, see that.
Because Hannibal Buress was the first one to just say out loud he is a rapist.
Yeah,
that's not a joke.
Which I think is funny is this whole thing started with a rape joke. This is such a. It was this whole issue was born of stand-up comedy, kind of, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. If you're gonna do it, it's because essentially you're gonna be making a rape joke, which there's a huge thing about now. Which was funny that I saw this opinion when they did the Bill Cosby memes and everybody did it about the rape stuff. Yeah. Somebody's like, oh, so rape jokes are cool now? Right. So now we can joke about rape.
Right.
And like it's very true because you definitely want to joke about it. And it's kind of funny. It's timely almost. This would happen. We're on kind of on the heels about this discussion about patriarchy and rape and misogyny, and especially how it appears through stand-up comedy, and when Tosh had his thing. So that's happening, and now we have this thing that's completely ripe for humor, and you want to kind of make the joke like
and move in with it.
And like just like the absurdities of it, like how funny it is, like somebody being like 75 women have come forward now, and like obviously that's not the number, but it's so big and weird, and so now you have to not have this conversation because we just as a society agreed you can't have that joke, and now it's a rock and a hard place. Like, do you go forward with it or do you not?
There's a Twitter account called the Word of God. It's just @God, I think, on Twitter.
He got it early with that name. He was like, "What? There's a thing called Twitter at God.
Yeah,
All right, what happens next? What do you do on Twitter?" He didn't even know.
He said the Bill Cosby versus accusers is a normal. It's one of these stories of he said she said, and that's a funny thing.
Yeah,
it's a pile-on joke, you know. But someone still was like, "That's sexist."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. There's literally.
You got to stay away from it.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
This is one of those things. If you touch it, it's gonna be open for that
Yeah.
criticism, and which does suck. I thought of stupid, super crude ones that I don't have any problem saying, but just because one of the was hey, lady walks into Bill Cosby's office, says she has a headache. He says, "Take 2 of these and call me in 15 years." I thought of that one last night. I was like, that's pretty funny, but it's again all yeah, it's everything you make up. Every joke you make about that is going to be a rape joke. But do they expect us to just sit back and just be stone-faced about it? Which is the same argument you make when people make a 9/11 joke or whatever. You say, "Are we just supposed to always have this hanging over our head and beating our fucking our joy down because it happened, or we can't own it and talk about it?"
Yeah.
And so that's you're gonna see the different side of that coin, I guess you could say, in the discussion that's gonna be born of this.
Well, it seems like your material also doesn't want to. What was the word? When I hear what you talk about, it doesn't look like you get too close. That you don't need to get that close to the edge because you're talking about stuff that's fun.
Yeah. I love comics that do that. George Carlin is my numero uno.
Of course, yeah.
And if you look at my Facebook posts, I can get political stuff. I've tried to chill out on that. I love to talk about it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I think I got I have a well-formed opinion of how things should work, and I don't think I'm just spouting bullshit. But on stage, I just never feel that that's at the level I'm at. If I ever get to the point where I'm filming specials and shit, let's open it up. Let's talk about the war or fucking
sure.
Yeah, and let's talk about that now. But when I'm at. Even now, I'll do 45 minutes if I headline out at a road club or something. But even then, they're there drinking. Nobody wants to hear and they don't want to have their beliefs shook and challenged and shit.
Yeah,
and
of course,
And I just prefer to stick to fun stuff that actually makes me laugh. That's pretty much the watermark for my jokes. It's if I think of it, I'm like, is that funny? It makes me laugh. I'll fucking give it a whirl.
Right. Now, what would Bill Maher say? Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Oh my God, the mic's in front of me. This is important now.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Everybody you see comics that do that at that more local lower level, and I'm just it's kind of funny. Some of them obviously can pull it off, and some of them it's just yeah, man, we're all behind you. Nobody you're not just shaking the earth with your fuck Rick Perry joke.
Sure.
Yeah, I have a Rick Perry joke and just talks about how Austin has to hide the fact that we smoke weed from him. And I'm he's the rest of the state he's a governor here, he's a landlord. I was Austin's the basement on that 70s show, and he's kind of Red Foreman a little bit. And I feel that pokes fun at him, but I'm not
it's not.
Let me tell you about fucking Rick Perry.
It's not political. It's not even really about weed. It's just this stuff happens, and then this guy.
Yeah, he's around too. So I don't try to get on that shit because I don't feel anybody wants who's coming to New Movement Theater on a Friday night in Austin, Texas, wants to have let's have a sobering discussion about race, guys.
I can't wait to laugh about religion with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure,
there's no place for it at that point.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take another break. I want to come in because you talk about Facebook. I want to talk to you about Facebook and Twitter, and then have you explain some tweets.
Cool. Are they my tweets?
They're your tweets. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, a couple are Bill Burr's too. You'll have to, no. It's all your tweets. But we'll be back and we'll talk about it. Yep.
Break.
I always hate that. Because just don't go to open mic. Just do what you got to do and show back up. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Segment 3, the Fighting 3. Still hanging out with Banjo, of course. Still looking handsome. Are you okay with your drink? Do you need another drink?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay.
We're good.
Of course, Patrick over here.
Yeah, I'm doing work. Whenever I'm off your tab, let me know, and I will definitely step in.
No, I got you for. I mean, you had to go through a fucking monsoon to get here. So yeah, I think it's fair. So as I mentioned before the break, Facebook and Twitter. So, I don't see a lot of people use Facebook the way people use Twitter when it comes to comedians.
Yeah.
Twitter is an easy way to jump in and put an idea out there.
Yep.
Work on a little bit, but see how you can refine a very simple art form, whatever. And I brought up before, especially when you have people like Patton Oswalt who master trolled Twitter for some amount of time and then felt bad about it, whatever. Your Twitter, I need you to answer some questions. First, can you explain the name?
Detective Dick Gluten?
Yes.
Yeah, So some people that change their Twitter name all the time, like not the handle, but the actual the name.
Right.
And I have friends that are just like geniuses with that. Like Jared Holly and Josh Staub, like those dudes always have like the best. Like some of the chicks that I follow have like the best like little pun names and shit.
Yeah.
And I try to keep up with it, but that's just like for whatever reason I could never make one that I think is like super cool.
Sure.
But so I'll just change them on occasion. And I was at my girl doesn't eat gluten. And I know that science has bounced back on that now. There's that whole thing, but she doesn't eat it, and she fucking likes it. Whatevs.
Sure.
I've stopped that argument before. So, but I was thinking about how like this like rejection of gluten, so to embrace it would just be super manly. And then I just thought about Detective Dick Gluten. And like it just popped in my head, and I was like, that made me laugh when I was stoned, and I changed it, and haven't changed it back yet. Detective Dick Gluten.
Yeah. It does sound very manly.
Yeah.
I love the imagery of a person who is literally a gluten detective, like trying to determine, okay, well, this Whole Foods is known for gluten, and yet I have proof otherwise. Yeah. And one more thing.
One more thing.
Get the trench coat on.
Yeah. See, I always imagine that he doesn't detect anything gluten themed. He's like a hard boiled like homicide detective.
Oh,
but he just or like almost like or maybe a private eye. He could be a private eye.
Sure.
He's off the force.
Private dick. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a private dick, and he his last name is just gluten because that's just how hard he was. Like he's just it already was gluten, and he's just like Detective Dick Gluten. Now you don't.
Yeah. And Dr. Celiac. His nemesis.
That's the Moriarty to his homes.
What kind of bread are you eating? No. And they fall over the bread fountain or whatever.
The bread fountain. Where's this bread fountain?
The bread waterfall, I guess. Yeah. Gluten waterfall. So here are some tweets that I would like for you to explain. Really just like where were you, what are you thinking, etc. I bet I could lie about hanging out with John Tesh on the regular and pull it off for a few months.
That one, I grew up with John Tesh on Entertainment Tonight. My parents, my grandma, and my mom watched Entertainment Tonight.
That took a hook, and I was like, "You grew up with John Tesh?"
Yeah, I grew up with John. See, I could get away with it though.
Yeah.
Because somebody on Facebook was like, "Hey, what's a good podcast to get into?" And I've actually been getting super into podcasts lately, like listening to them and shit.
Sure.
But they were like, "What's a good starter podcast?" And I just thought that was a funny question. So I put, I said, I was like, "Listen to Podcasting with John Tesh," and then I just like I was. Mine was wandering after I said that. It was like John Tesh, and I started thinking about him, and I was like, I bet that's like an obscure enough celebrity where I could like, if I met like a group of new people, I could just be all like, yeah, I was in Chicago last week, and like, because I know John Tesh. It's kind of weird. Like I know him like through my dad. He was they have the same lawyer, and we hung out. And I bet I could pull that off for like a few months until somebody like wait a tick, you don't fucking know John Tesh. But I'd be like, hey, rode high for a few months, didn't I though? you guys thought I was just man, times are good. Late 2014, man. Everybody thought I hung out with John Tesh. I was working 3 jobs. It was good.
Yeah. Had 3 beers bought for me.
Yeah,
you know John Tesh?
Oh man, I mean, you probably get a TLC show out of that.
Yeah. Dude who knows John Tesh.
Yeah.
I just
John
thought about
Teshing
this.
Around.
I met a guy at in Stephenville, Texas. There's a college that my buddy goes to, and we were from Cove, so to us that was like a resort town. We would drive to Stephenville, which anyone who knows anything about those areas is just like, what? That's a resort town. So like we met this kid there, and he told us that he hung out for a week with John Travolta, and this is before the gay rumors popped up. So now that I'm like, maybe he did hang out with him for a week, because he said he was a waiter in Tampa, where I guess John he lives.
Sure.
And he said he came into his restaurant, they hung out, they kicked it for a while, and he just tells the story and walks off. We met him in the hallways, and then I was like, that's not true, but I bet he could fool some people with it.
Yeah, enough people. Yeah,
because it's again, if it's weird enough, if you're like, I hang out with Bieber, like the people are like, fuck you. But if you're like,
because that's too high. Yeah.
If you aim low, you can ride that for a while.
Yeah. Well, I hung out with the dude who played Turtle on Entourage.
Yeah. Which I
talk shoes for a while.
Yeah, I get mistaken for Turtle from Entourage. Like early seasons.
Sure.
So that's kind of
before
funny.
he started stabbing girls, right?
He stabbed somebody?
No, I don't know.
Oh, word. I was like, Bill Cosby
did.
and Turtle? Like, who do I have left?
What's happening? What's happening in this world? We just wanted to drive and cook.
Yeah.
Second tweet. There's a second tweet. Shout out to the people who turn their garages into chill rooms.
That occurred to me because I was smoking a cigarette at my girlfriend's garage, which is not a chill room. Shame on her.
Sure. Yeah.
No, she uses
shout-outs.
it like regular people to put stuff in there. But
she's one dwarf away.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I just thought of again people I grew up with in Cove, like who were like they had a place and they were just like, or actually not even shout out to people who turn them into chill rooms, people who talk about turning them into chill rooms but never pull it off.
Sure, yeah.
I think that's just something like hilarious. Like guys like, yeah, man, it's fucking gonna get like, rug, put it out there, get a TV. I'm gonna turn the garage into a chill room, and it just never materializes. I think that's awesome.
Is it a rug and a TV? It's necessary, or is it like
it's a rug and a TV and a couch is really all you need.
Couch? Can you is as long as it's comfortable seating? Like
yeah,
do you have a couple beanbags or
and a couple chairs. I mean, eventually,
sure.
unless they really follow through with it, and most people don't follow through with anything.
Sure.
It usually just like the majority of the population doesn't do anything they ever plan on. That's why we celebrate those who do. But like the guy like
Columbus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, usually it just turns into like, I'm going to turn the garage into a chill room, and it's like there's like an ashtray full of blunt roaches and like 2 fold-out chairs, and like that was what it happened. Like,
yeah. Every room's a chill room if you have.
I can see that though. That's the planning stage.
Yeah.
Him and his buddy sitting there going, "Man, this is gonna be so great.
Let's get in the garage and really hammer this shit out."
The pre-chill room, yeah. Third question is, what strange world does this lady live in where she feels comfortable kicking her shoes off at a steakhouse?
Oh, yeah. Okay, my girl works at Texas Land and Cattle, and I went to go, she was getting off work, so I showed up to see her. I had her car, because I don't have a car now. Sure. So I was picking her up, and I was sitting there, and she had this table that wouldn't leave, and they were being rude. And I went to the bathroom, and I was walking back, and this lady was like, had her shoes off, like they were like sitting there on the ground, and she was like curled up like how you would sit in your chair at home, and like she had her fucking, so I could see the bottom of her feet, and it was like her bare feet were fucking like just exposed, and I was like, really, like where are you?
Yeah,
where you can just be like, oh, I'm taking my shoes off here, and now I have my bare feet, and they're up on the thing, so they're out like. They're out in the world. Yeah, it was just like very weird. I would never have. If I go to the fucking beach, I wear sneakers. Like I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
my feet are never like, what's up? Like
this isn't a steak and ale. Put your shoes back on.
Unless I'm at my house. if I'm, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We were at Texas Land and Cattle, man.
Right. This is not Sizzler.
Yeah, take that shit back to Applebee's with your fucking no shoe having ass.
Yeah, your family there. Oh no, that's the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Eat good with your feet off.
Yeah. And so I just kind of felt a little. And also, my girl was mad at her anyway, so like I didn't like her. My girl's like, this bitch won't fucking leave. And I was just like, yeah.
To the tweeters.
Yeah. To the Twitter sphere. 713 people want to know about this. You know, like, no, it was 767. I can't break out of the 770s.
Should I check that? Should I make sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I trust you. I don't need that much fact checking. Well, yeah, that is. Explain your tweets. It's PZ Texas.
At PZTX.
At PE. EZY TX.
Yeah. PZ is that's a lot of people know me as that. So,
okay, sure. Do you find good traction on Twitter, like when it comes to putting things out there, or is it more of a place where you can write stuff down to remember for later?
I want it to be a place where shit gets more traction. Like, and I get stuff that'll like come alive. But I don't have. I at the end of the day, I only have like 700 some odd followers.
Sure.
And so I'm friends with guys who have like a lot of followers and are like Jared Holly at Dirt God and my homeboy Jerk at Sketchy Wigger and fucking my homeboy Kareem at Kareem J Campbell. He BMXs, Jerk's in a band, and Jared does comedy. They have like a good follower amount, and if like I've always noticed if I say something and they retweet it, I get like the love it needs. Yeah. But
sure.
I'll put some shit out there sometimes. I'm just like, man, that got slept on because I don't have that community out there. But I still stay active on it. I got one of my things that stays getting retweets from like a year and a half ago, or no, over 2 years ago. It like every now and then I'll still get like a notification that was retweeted, and it got up to like 18 and 36 or something. Sure. And it was I'm about to go to brunch, and it's like, oh, is that where you between breakfast and lunch? It's like, no, it's where I smoke a blunt and go to brunch. Stop being an asshole. Like, that one still like every now and then I'll get a tweet from that. I'm like, oh shit.
Do you when it comes to Twitter specifically too, do you have any problems using it in jokes, like putting it on stage? Like if you put a joke up there, is it done, or is it something you can use again?
Like okay, so yeah, if I like tweet something and it turns out that it works, and then I bring it to the stage.
Yeah, like Blunch, for example. Like to expand on it.
There's I have a tendency to forget about shit when I tweet it. If it's really funny, I'll think about it, and maybe I've gotten some kernels and some jokes out of there. Sure. But overall, I think just because of the sheer numbers thing, what happens with Twitter a lot is like works better as a tweet. Like you'll have an idea and it's funny because like Twitter, also has that kind of surreal edge that you can achieve because it's through text. You know what I'm saying? Where I don't have, like, if I want to do a weird, like, Rob Delaney style tweet where I'm just all like, there's ham in my beef curtains and hashtag beef, though, like, shit like that. Like, that's, like, really funny to me on Twitter, but I couldn't go up on stage and do that without donning that character the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when you want to do that stupid, surreal shit that's funny on Twitter, you have to be that person the whole time you're on stage, or else it doesn't have any context and it makes no sense.
Right. But yeah, again, you can stamp something out real quick. This is who I am, and if you didn't know, you have to figure who the fuck I am. Yeah, we still have time. Who are your biggest influences in? Not on Twitter, but in general.
In comedy?
In comedy, yeah.
In comedy, I would definitely have to say my top three.
Carlin, of course.
Chappelle, Rock, and Louis C.K.
Okay.
I think I really liked it. I don't really think it reflects in my style at all whatsoever. Like, stylistically,
Nickelback was a big Led Zeppelin fan, and apparently never listened to any of their albums. Yeah.
Those guys I love. Like, stylistically, I don't know if this is a cliche answer or not. I don't feel that there's like a. The one thing that I got, it was one of the biggest compliments I ever. It was from Kat Ramzensky, who I respect as a comedian and as a person. And she said, I did a killer set at the Valve, and she was like, "You're like a white Patrice O'Neal." And that was like that was like the most accurate kind of thing I think I ever got. And I'm not trying to stop with the big dogs or anything, but
sure.
Yeah, I just got that. That kind of makes sense because I have.
That's flattering too.
Yeah, I was definitely all for it. But like I feel like stylistically, I'm really kind of myself on stage. But like. And I guess that reflects even on the joke writing part. Like, I have like just the shit I do is just kind of weird. I don't think I have an influence stylistically or one that I can discern. But just as far as like what gets me loving comedy and wanting to write good shit, the four guys I mentioned, Carlin, Rock, Chappelle, Louis C.K. Right now, I love John Mulaney and Aziz Ansari. I think they're just awesome. I think they really embrace like new comedy kind of. And I really love Bill Burr. I love that dude's fucking like. I love that kind of. I guess I could kind of see a little bit of Bill Burr kind of like I hit that sometimes where I feel like I'm just kind of like, what, really, we're doing this now, that's fucking happening. Like I hit that, especially if I'm riffing, I kind of hit that sometimes. So I don't know, but that's how I'd say I kind of pull into the sphere a little bit.
Awesome. Well, let's take one more break. We'll come back and we'll do plugs and toasts. I have a couple more questions too.
Yeah, cool.
Gird thy loins.
It's allowed.
And we're back after this.
Awesome.
Break.
I just can't take the drama on Instagram.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody.
Last segment.
DrunkCast Live, segment 4. We call it the Fantastic Four because there's 4 segments.
Fighting.
The Fighting 3.
Oh.
The Fantastic Four.
Is it?
You kind of have to point to the sky when you say it.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
No kisses. Just
No.
like a point and a flex.
And you look.
Yeah,
You look?
And you look up and you go, yeah, you
Yeah, man.
asshole. So, yeah, still hanging out with Banjo. Still hanging out with Patrick. Awesome. So awesome that you're having a good time here and having fun times and with us, and we're having fun times.
If we keep talking, we may find out that Patrick and I are related.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
That's true.
There's a lot of weaving. Going on
There
here.
is a lot of weaving.
We're like one of our lives interconnect like the series of Lost, where like whenever they do somebody's backstory.
Oh man!
And it would be like somebody bumps into somebody bumps into a guy and his backstory. Like 8 episodes later, they show that guy's backstory, and it was him bumping into that guy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Banjo does travel through time.
Okay, well then there you go.
I'm also a shadow monster.
Well, of course, yeah. Or so we're led to believe.
Well,
yeah.
It's not on film yet.
Well, I mean, you can, yeah.
Well, then
I haven't been a shadow monster.
Actually,
There's,
if
After Effects.
we may not want to start down your story though, because if you are similar to Lost in that respect, the story will go nowhere. We may not want to start down that rabbit hole because they're just like, I've been watching 6 seasons of Banjo, and I don't think they know where they're going.
The last episode of the show takes place in a church.
Yeah.
And everyone says, really?
And the preacher's an alien.
Yeah.
I power watched seasons 1 through 5, like in the months preceding season 6, because my roommate in Connecticut, I came home one night and he wasn't playing World of Warcraft. I was like, "Oh, why aren't you playing World of Warcraft?" He's like, "I'm watching Lost."
Lost is on, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh," and he's like, I'm gonna watch all of them to get ready for season 6. I had never seen any of them, so we fucking got down to business. And
was it better watching it all the way through like that, or is it worse?
I think everything is better watching it all the way through.
Sure.
You also are less critical of a show. I've noticed. Like, I like. When I would if I fall behind on a show and I power watch it on Netflix or like stream it or whatever, then I'm like, I like it better when I have to wait for it every week. Like Walking Dead, for example, I powered through the last 2 seasons on fucking Netflix or last season.
Yeah.
And then like I was all excited, and then I was watching season 5, and I found myself with a more critical eye. 'Cause I used to like I'd always be like, people like, man, they're just hating. What are these people talking shit about the show? But now I'm like, when you have to wait a week to watch the show, and then you don't like the direction it's going in, then you're like, what the fuck? Like, I can understand it now.
But plus, there's time to be critical. You know, when it's a button press to get to the next one, you don't have that much time.
Yeah, you just keep going
on it.
Yeah.
Like especially because
you just want to know what's going on with whatever.
Without being too critical, the second season of that show, watching it live was so hard.
Oh yeah, that was one of the
so boring. But watching it watching it again when the third season was coming out. Let's catch up again. It wasn't as bad as I remember. Yeah.
I love how this is a weird thing. I love how catching up on shows has become almost like a chore in America. We're just like, look, I've been really busy lately. I gotta get through Walking Dead because the new season starts.
Your DVR is 98% full.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I have to watch Remain.
Netflix queue is like this.
Yeah.
I guess that really is like you hear like I don't know, novels of the past and what the future like to keep you occupied, and you're just like I feel busy because of all the things I have to watch, and I'm sure the government's like banking on that. They're like, I hope these guys feel busy until they realize they have enough free time to take us over,
right? Or vote at least.
Yeah.
That's definitely a topic we're not going to bring up because we're having fun.
Yeah. We don't want to talk about how we're all getting fucked.
Yeah. Well, because again, depressing stuff. This whole week has been depressing stuff. But was there anything that you maybe saw Banjo recently over the last week that was?
Man, even the comment thing got depressing.
Yeah.
That was so rad, and now it's just up there, just.
Yeah. And they got on him about his shirt. That was that was where it would like. That was stupid. Like I don't.
He cried.
He did.
He cried.
At least like you landed a fucking comment on a satellite on a comment like do whatever you want, wear whatever you want. He could have had a fucking Borat Speedo. Like he earned it.
Well, the newest thing of the filet is how pronounced filet or filet, fillet of fish. It ran out of batteries. That's a bummer.
Yep.
Yeah. Everything about this week has actually been big bummers. I mean, there's some interesting Google news. Apple finally stopped their patent war.
Yeah. With Samsung?
Yeah, with Samsung over Android.
After
whatever.
$2 billion.
After $2 billion.
Yeah.
But
I heard. I don't know if it was one of those like clickbait things, but like they said that Samsung paid them off in truckloads of pennies.
Oh yeah, that's fake. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been snoped, but that's fun. It is a fun thing.
I wanted it to be true.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, like that kind of consumer or any kind of justice porn like that too is like,
yeah.
I guess. I mean, it's not like they're going to dump it off in Tim Cook's office and be like, okay, count all these bajillions of pennies.
Yeah, sure.
That's going straight to some bank, and some poor asshole is going to have to sit there and put it in the thing.
Yep.
Need more papers.
It just takes just like everything we try to do to. Always going to fuck over the consumer some way.
Yeah, that's like one of my larger beefs with anything Michael Moore does is that like all those confrontations he does, those are low-level wage slaves that he's confronting. He's like, take the bullets out of this kid. I want to return the bullets that are in this kid. Just like, I work in a fucking clerk office. Like I don't like oh man, shit like that. Like it's innocent victim.
You're not hitting the 1%. Anything, Patrick, that you thought about recently? Anything that you were wanting to bring up when we were hanging out and talking?
Well, on the way over here, I had kind of an interesting experience. On the bus.
The bus thing.
I realized that the bus was a lot quicker to get over here. I was like, all right, cool. So I went home and I smoked and because that's my thing. If I have to travel or like move around on a bus or on foot, I make sure I'm stoned so I don't realize it and it sucks. Sure. Yeah. So I get on the bus. And I hop on, and like the bus driver was like this, like he looked like Vanilla Ice, how he looks now, like how he's like he's older, but he still has the flat bill and like the little fucking thing, and he was just like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" And I was like, "Cool." I got on, and like it was empty, and we're driving down, and we get to this part where like it's down kind of past Mopac a little bit, this little turnaround area, and there's guys on the bus. It's like an older black dude, and it's just us in there, and then the bus just stops, and those two get off. And I was like, I'm on my phone. I'm like kind of high, lost on my little phone, listening to stuff. I was like, where the fuck are we? And I got out, and these guys were just walking off. And I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, it's the end of the line. I was like, this is the end of the line. I was like, 7? I was like, he's like, well, no. He's like, we turn around and go back, but this is the end of the line. I get a break now. And I was like, you get a break. And him and the dude walked off, and the guy stopped by. There was a car parked. The guy who was on the bus with us stopped by the car. And it was like a fucking like Cadillac with like rims on it, and the guy stopped and went in the car, and these dudes rolled off, and I was like, that's his homeboy. they know each other.
Yeah.
They're on the he hops on his bus when this little line ends, and what I put together was that this dude was like getting some shit from this guy.
Sure.
And so like they walk off, it's like there's like a corner store or whatever, and I'm like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, so I start walking away too. I was gonna walk here, so I started walking. I was like, I'm at the end of the line, so I started fucking walking.
Yeah.
And they're walking back, and I was like, hey, I gotta get to like West Lynn and 6th. Like, where the fuck am I, and where do I go? And he's like, oh, you just get back on the bus. We got to turn around though. And he made it sound like it was just
gonna
like
be a huge laborious thing.
Yeah, I was like, we got to turn around. He's like, yeah, we got to turn around. I was like, well, how long is it going to take? And he was like, about 5 minutes. I was like, so we're 5. The bus is going to continue moving, and we're going to go to where I need to go. That's what you mean to say? He was like, yeah,
because it sounded like he was done for the night.
Yeah, that's what it meant. I was like, fuck. I thought I was like inconveniencing him, and I was like, so we get back on the bus. He's asking me what I'm doing. I'm telling him I'm coming here to do this, and he's like, oh, you're on a podcast. What do they want to talk to you for? I was like, I do comedy. And he's like, oh, cool. And I did the Fun Fest rap battle. I did that. And he was like, oh, and then I said that. And then the older black dude was like, oh, yeah, rap man, check this out. Hands me his phone, and it's playing Tupac, All Eyes on Me. And he was like, he hands it to me. Like, he gives me the phone, and I'm holding it. I'm like, yeah, man, Tupac, da-da-da. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, I had to give it back to him. I didn't want it anymore. I was like, here's your phone. Oh, yeah, Tupac. You know Tupac, right? I was like, yeah, I know Tupac.
Yeah, I was there.
So, yeah. Like, so then we're driving still, and then he hands it back to me, and it's the OJs, like that old soul, like, and they're playing, and I was like, yeah, the OJs, yeah. And he's like, wants me to hold the phone and listen to it. Like, weird again. So I was like, I got to see where I'm going, man. I gave him his phone back. I'm looking. My GPS isn't like calibrating to show me where I'm at. So I'm like kind of panicking.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. So then he like stops like right over there. And he's like, yo, this is it. This is Lynn. You might want to get off here. And so I get off, and it's pouring down rain. Yeah. My GPS still isn't like adjusting and showing me where I'm at. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck. So like it's pouring down rain. So I run over to that little overhang, and I was like, I gotta find out where the fuck I'm at and call these
right across the street. Yeah.
And turn around. I'm looking at my phone, and I look up, and it's fucking Don's Depot like right in front of me. I was like, oh, okay, this is where I go. And so that was my weird bus thing.
Nice.
That. Yeah.
Maybe you weren't giving that guy enough props for playing rap on his phone.
Yeah,
like, he wanted you to respect that.
Yeah, but at first it was
you
like,
weren't doing it.
I understand if he was showing me his stuff, like, hey, I rap too.
Right, exactly.
But he was just like, oh, that'd be like, it was like, oh yeah, rock, yeah, you like rock? That's what's up. And like Zeppelin, like, here, listen to this. Like, hold my phone and listen to this. It's just.
Hey, hold up to you, man.
Yeah, allow yourself.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, treat yourself.
One more, yeah.
Thank you.
Can I get my check whenever ready?
Let's go ahead and let's do our toasts. I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having
me. Yeah, man.
You're a pleasure to be around you. Your energy is fucking fantastic. And yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah,
I'll drink to my energy.
Literally commanding. This is time for you to give some plugs. What are you going to be doing next? First and foremost, Facebook and your Twitter handle, and Instagram, and etc.
I'm on Facebook, Patrick Sirois, as that's what I'm on. And I am the worst. I know I have some shit coming up here soon, and I could, for the life of me, tell you what it is. It's like in the next week. I'm going to be at New Movement Theater sometime this month, doing a rap battle show that we do. It's I'm in a comedy rap group called Vanilla Presley. That's it's at Vanilla Presley on Twitter, and Vanilla Presley on Facebook is the name. It's me and Lane Crarup, another Austin comic, and we both rap. And we both do comedy, and we do that, and we do a rap battle show where we bring on other comics, and we have like a little small tournament, and it's like really like it's not like big bragging rights, like it's like we do it. It's just fun. Like a lot of times the comics can't rap. We do rap though. That's kind of like that's our thing. Like so we bring people on and just like kind of slaughter them. It's fun.
What's your handle?
For the Vanilla Presley, it's at Vanilla Presley, and on Twitter I'm at PZTX.
Okay, sure. Wait, Vanilla Presley is the group, but what's your you specifically?
At PZTX.
Oh no, your rap. What's your rap name?
Your rap moniker.
Moniker PZ.
PZ. Yeah, it's more of a thing. Like people just a lot of my friends know me as Peasy. A lot of Austin comics, I think, is when I got here. My Twitter handle's already at PZTX. Yeah. So like a lot of it's just kind of funny because like a lot of comics just like will literally call me that, which is not on stage or anything, but it's funny how much that sticks before you notice.
Yeah, sure.
You're like, oh shit, everybody calls me Peasy. Yeah.
Or money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll look up for the new movement. What time do you usually, if you have the time to go?
It's gonna be at like 10 if it does. Oh, I'm
sure.
bad.
Oh no, you're fine.
Lane's gonna hear this and be like, you couldn't fucking plug the show. Yeah, so that's what it's gonna be.
I'll throw some links up. But any other open mics that you usually try to hit when you go out to do stuff, and it's not just movement or.
Yeah, like if I go out, I like to hit Cold Town Theater on Mondays. That's you can usually catch me there. And then like I was at the Velve last night, but fucking that's in the past, so you can't do that. Sure. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I do Spider House shows here and there.
Cool. Yeah,
that's where you can find.
I've actually been wanting to check out the Spider House, the cathedral area or whatever it's called.
The ballroom.
The ballroom. Yeah,
awesome
venue,
man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because I've heard they have some other things there too, and so because this comes out Tuesday, so anything's happening over the week. Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah. Well, be sure to do some creative Googling to find the show that I can't remember.
Scavenger hunt.
And the last name is spelled Sirois.
Yes, sir. That
so you can find him there. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of DrunkCast Live. If you want to know more about the show, you can go to DrunkCastLive.com. You can go to Facebook.com/DrunkCastLive. We're at DrunkCastLive on Twitter. And I think we're DrunkCast Pics on Instagram. I don't use Instagram very often, but we lost DrunkCast Live because of reasons. Like I signed up and they banned me immediately, so we lost that. So that's cool. Thanks to Instagram and thanks for Facebook for that. And of course, anytime you want to leave us a phone number or you leave a question or call us, you can questions at DrunkCast Live or 412-440-SHOT 412-440-7468. And Patrick, I welcome you. Anytime you're drunk or you're high or you just have a thought and you feel like giving us a call, it goes to a voicemail and we put the voicemail up. And you got a thought, you got a thing that happened,
dude,
like a crazy overheard or whatever.
Do that. It's gonna be fun.
Please do. Yeah. Well, again, Patrick, thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you come back.
I'd love to be back.
If you have time to hang out, we're not going to record anymore, but you hang out and do a little more.
I'm in it to win it for a little bit. Yeah.
And then we'll get you back on maybe in December.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming on. Banjo, thanks so much for being my co-host here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, being my yang, I think. Or the yin. Which one's masculine? Yin or yang?
I'm just going to say yang.
Yeah,
yang sounds like it would be.
It sounds
like
wang.
I mean,
yeah.
In that position, probably neither.
Neither? Okay. Yeah. Thanks for being the line in between. Thanks for being the black light that lit up my yin yang.
Yeah. That'll work.
Thanks for being the black light that lit up my sheets.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
CSI crime scene.
Yeah, you're the CS to my eye.
The law to my order.
Don't look at the walls.
Yeah, don't look at the walls.
Don't look at the computer chair.
Don't tell I see nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm Travis, and we love you so much for listening to this, and please come check it out. Oh, and the last thing, too, if you listen to this and you're like watching it or listening to online somewhere, subscribe. Go to youtube.com/DrunkCastLive. I forgot about that one. And then subscribe there. Or you can go to any of your favorite podcast apps if you have any. iPhone has an app called Podcast.
Yeah.
I really like Podcaster or Podcatcher, excuse me. No, Dogcatcher and Pocket Cast.
Dogcaster, got it.
Dogpatcher. Check that out, and there's some links on the site. If you go to DrunkCast Live, you can see some stuff. But subscribe. It makes us feel better, and then you'll actually get our stuff when you're asleep. So you wake up and you
Can't beat that, America.
So anyway, love you. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. DrunkCast Live is a podcast that's recorded live around bars and drinks, but we do drink and podcast responsibly, and we hope you do too. Please come check out more about the show at drunkcastlive.com and go to facebook.com/drunkcastlive or twitter.com/drunkcastlive.